B March Boxing back at it. Was goody boxing heads and fight fans around the world. B March back at it with another boxing video. So Jarett Hurd, he will resume training in the next 2 months. Hopefully he shall fight one more fight before this year ends. You know what I mean? Jarett Hurd has only fought once this year, obviously, in the biggest fight in 154 pounds since probably Canelo Alvarez versus Floyd Mayweather. And Jarett Hurd came out on top by taking the WBA strap off of Erislandy Lara, the best 154 pounder till Jarett Hurd beat him. And now Jarett Hurd is unified. But Jarett Hurd says he'll be back training in 2 months, and hopefully he'll fight before this year ends. You know what I mean? And Jarett Hurd's a guy who says at this juncture, coming off of surgery, just to get back in the mix of things, he's probably going to have a tune-up fight. No shame in that. That's exactly what he should do. Have a tune-up fight before he goes for the highly anticipated, a fight that Jarett Hurd himself wants, a fight between the other champion at 154, Jamel Charlo. All right, so Jarett Hurd, like I said, unified champ. You know what I mean? Man has, the division hadn't been unified since 2013, 2018. The man Jarett Hurd made it happen. You know what I'm saying? On his quick rise to stardom. You know what I mean? The guy Jarett Hurd a year and a half ago was a prospect. You know what I'm saying? Went from prospect to contender to champion to unified champ, all within a span of a year and a half. You know what I mean? He's had a great run. He probably would have got fight of the year if he got a chance to fight Jamel Charlo and beat him if he gets to beat him, if he got to fight him this year. But unfortunately, he won't. So you know, isn't it ironic that there's channels out here on YouTube who like to spread that propaganda. You know what I'm saying? They MO is not made the best man win. Their MO is to tear down a particular fighter to boost up another particular fighter who they love, you know what I mean? And that's wrong, you know what I'm saying? B Marsh Boxing, I'm a fan of Jarett Hurd. You know what I'm saying? Unapologetically, you know what I mean? That's my guy, you know what I mean? I met him once. I met him actually at King Darius Irvin's fight over there somewhere. Where was it? In Fort Washington, Maryland? Just right outside of Washington, D.C. You know what I mean? He's a cool guy. His little brother was on the card, Justin Hurd. You know what I'm saying? He's a down-to-earth guy, you know what I mean? A guy that you could probably just meet on a regular day, just walking down the street, you know what I mean? And you wouldn't even know that the man is a unified champ, you know what I mean? The man, Jarett Hurd, still lives at home with his parents. You check it. Now, some of you guys might be laughing, say, look, this motherfucker live at home with his parents, but he probably makes more money than his parents, you know what I'm saying? In just one fight versus the man Erislandy Lara, you know what I mean? Growing up, I was always under you know, in my household at least, you know what I mean? You don't have to move out immediately right after high school, you know what I'm saying? If you get a job, man, stay in the crib, man. Stay in your parents' house and stack that guap, you know what I'm saying? Stack that money so you could get a nice place when when you're ready to. But that's besides the point. My point is, Jarett Hurd is a guy that people have been saying is the next Keith Thurman 2.0. You know what I mean? Basically saying, oh, he's using his injury, his surgery that he had. The man had surgery. They're using that as an excuse. I never even took it offense to the man, Keith Thurman, having injuries. And, yeah, he's prolonged. He's taken a while to come back, you know what I'm saying? So I could see why people are agitated. Plus his reluctance and the things he was saying to avoid the fight with the man, Errol Spence. But you've never heard that kind of tone from the man Jarett Hurd, you know what I mean? And Jarett Hurd, like I said, is a unified champ, something that a lot of these fighters in the division were reluctant to do, whether it was Jamel Charlo, Erislandy Lara. But Erislandy Lara, I'll give him props. He did step up and take the fight with Jarett Hurd, you know what I mean? So, the man Jarett Hurd, he shall be back, hopefully before this year ends. And you could expect that fight between a unification between Jamel Charlo and Jarett Hurd sometime next year. You know what I'm saying? Jarett Hurd has made it quite clear that he wants to unify and become undisputed in the division. Um, the other guy, Jamie Munguia, has a WBO belt. He has to fight his mandatory Liam Smith. And 9 times out of 10, if whoever wins that fight between Liam Smith and or Jaime Munguia, they're gonna fight the man Kell Brook. You know what I'm saying? Because Kell Brook is also ranked in the WBO rankings as well as the WBC. You know what I mean? I personally would have liked to see Jamel Charlo versus Kell Brook, but it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? At this juncture, I don't even care too much about that fight. The fight I'm invested in and I'm looking forward to is Jamel Charlo versus Jarett Hurd. You know what I mean? Jarett Hurd obviously should be the favorite to come and to go into that fight. Jarett Hurd was not impressed by no means, and neither was I with the victory that the man, what's his name, Jamel Charlo had over Jarett Hurd's leftover Austin Trout. I'm not gonna say that. I thought that the scorecards were they were kind of BS. You know what I mean? You check it, or but I thought that the man Jamel Charlo won. He won comfortably, 7 rounds to 5. You know what I mean? But the scorecards were a little too close for comfort. You know what I mean? But that's to his own doing. You know what I'm saying? Even Errol Spence he himself said it. Jamel Charlo was pressing and trying to go too hard for the knockout, and it didn't come. And he had to settle for a majority decision versus the man Austin Trout. You know what I mean? So Jarett Hurd going through surgery. He will be training in the next 2 months. What are we in? End of basically July, right? July. So he should be back before the year ends. No question about it. You know what I mean? Jarett Hurd, he himself has said that he's fought two southpaws back to back. The next fighter he would like to fight would be a orthodox fighter to get him back accustomed to fighting orthodox fighters. But there's some nut ass channels out here who will suggest that Jarett Hurd is ducking, talking about he needs a tune up to fight a right handed orthodox fighter. I mean, the man has fought two former champions. One was a current champion, and Austin Trout being a former champion, two southpaws. Can't the man get back in the mix to fight, get himself acclimated to fight orthodox fighter? I think it's only right, you know what I mean? So I can't wait to see Jarett Hurd back in the mix. Jarett Hurd got a lot of love out here in the D.C., Maryland area. You know what I mean? Big ups to him. Big ups to the Hillcrest Boxing Gym over there in Hillcrest, Temple Hills, Maryland. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking forward to the return of Jarett Hurd. You never heard B. Marsh Boxing say one disparaging word about Jamel Charlo. Whether I agree with all the stuff he says, whether I agree with his resume or him personally, or even his fighting style. You know what I mean? I don't have to do that to boost up the man Jarett Hurd. Jarett Hurd can do that on his own. He has the hardware, he has the trinkets, he has the world titles to say to back it up. And I ain't do nothing. I ain't do nothing to help him get them titles. All I did was just come out here on YouTube and shoot him a few Twitter links. You know what I mean? He always responds back. Big ups to Jarett Hurd. You know what I mean? And try to put him out there, you know what I mean? Basically try to help promote him because, he has a lot of hate out here on YouTube. And this kid is a humble kid, you know what I mean? I think that, people hate on the man Jarett Hurd because they, maybe because of his hairstyle, which is corny. His hairstyle got nothing to do with you. That's like them corny ass niggas who might be getting into it with a broad and they always talking about, girl, look at your hair, look at your weave. Girl, look at your makeup. Why would a dude even be going in on a girl on them type of things? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real petty. And, a lot of people, they don't like the man Jarett Hurd. That's their business. Maybe they feel bad because they picked Erislandy Lara, who's one of my top favorite fighters, you know what I mean? And if I was biased, I would have picked the man Erislandy Lara. But I knew that the guy Jarett Hurd would beat him. The writing was on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Maybe these guys are mad that they picked the man Jarett Hurd to win. I'm sorry, Erislandy Lara. And he got beat up. Did you see this guy's face? Did you see Austin Trout's face after the fight? You know what I mean? Go check out my previous videos I did on the man Jarett Hurd, you know what I mean? And there's clear-cut evidence this guy's actually beating these dudes up. You know what I'm saying? That fight versus Erislandy wasn't close. Forget about it, you know what I mean? So I don't even have to, just like the Errol Spence fans, who are also Jamel Charlo fans. You know what I mean? I guess they think we're all brothers because, these two guys spar together. So we're around the bandwagon together. They come in as a twin package. Errol Spence and Jamel Charlo. You gotta like them both. I like Errol Spence, but I don't have to shit on Terrence Crawford to boost up Errol Spence, and vice versa. I don't have to shit on the man Terrence Crawford to boost up Errol Spence. That fight, I'm very invested in it. Not for anybody, a particular fighter to win. I'm invested in it because it's a great best fight to be made at welterweight, and may the best man win. Whomever wins, I'll be happy for him. Whomever loses, well, the better man won for the night. You know what I mean? And that's just boxing. Some of you guys, I heard your Jarrett Hurd post fight fucking review videos. Oh gosh, yo, sounded like fellas like somebody died in the family or something. You know what I mean? It sounded like fellas just came from a funeral. Fellas were dejected and they just sounded so gloomy. You know what I mean? Like they live in Alaska or something, like where it's cold 9 months out of the year, or Scandinavia or some shit. You know what I mean? Fellas sounded real depressed when the man Jarrett Hurd beat and knocked down the Urslandi Lara in that 12th round. You know what I mean? And they came up with excuses. Oh, he's just winning fights because he's big. The fucking guy Jarrett Hurd didn't even make 154 pounds. He was below that in his last couple fights. He was 153 point something. So how's the man too big when he's making weight? You know what I mean? Do I think he's making it comfortably? Only he could answer that. I'm not in the man's body. I don't know how he feels during training camp. I don't even know his regimen and procedure. You know what I mean? All I know is that he makes weight and he's beating up these dudes coming from behind. I like what he did versus the man. What's his name? Fucking guy from Detroit, Tony Harrison. You know what I mean? My guy Jarrett Hurd was down 7 rounds, and he came back and stopped the guy in the ninth. You know what I mean? Knocked him out actually. Fuck stopping. They ain't stopped him on his feet. He left him on his back like a hooker. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down, laid out. You know what I mean? So, I don't have to shit on nobody. You know what I mean? I don't gotta go on the man Jamel Charlo. I don't. Just look at his resume. Point blank period. Look at his resume and look compared to Jared Hurst. And I don't gotta do no talking. If you know boxing, then you know. You can't even debate me nothing between Jamel Charlo and the man Jared Hurd. And I'm not taking nothing away from Jamel Charlo's skill set. But going into that fight, if you're a wise man, put your money on the man Jared Hurd, you know what I mean? Put your money on Jared Hurd. He will be the favorite, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying bet your house on the man Jared Hurd. But I believe Jared Hurd will come out victorious in that unification if it so do happen next year, which I do believe it will. They're both on Showtime. I believe both guys want to fight. Do I believe Jamel Charlo wants to fight? Sure he does. Why wouldn't he? If he don't want to fight, he's in the wrong sport, you know what I mean? And that's the difference between me and fellas. I got integrity, you know what I'm saying? It's the difference between B Marsh Boxing and a lot of channels out there. Let them tell you it. They'll say Jared Hurd don't want to fight. While Jared Hurd has showed initiative and he's taken action to try to be the best junior middleweight in the world. And he ain't gonna stick around for too long, you know what I mean? You could see the man's frame, he's a big dude. He's obviously gonna be moving up to 160 soon, sooner than later. But his goal is to unify and try to become undisputed at 140, 154. And Jamel Charlo's the next best thing that Jared Hurd could get down on his resume. And believe you me, that fight shall happen. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't gotta shit on Jamel Charlo. Just go and look at his resume. You know what I'm saying? Just go look at his resume and tell me who the best guy he fought. If you ask me, and this is a fact, point blank, period, no ifs, ands, buts, or debating about it, the best guy he ever fought was Austin Trout, a Jared Hurd leftover. Enough said. B Marsh Boxing, leave your thoughts and comments. Anybody in the chat? I see a few people in there, but B Marsh Boxing about to seal the deal on this live stream, and I'm out of here. One love, people. Peace.